Today's tax update will recap where things currently stand with the tax return and refund backlog, including amended and employer returns. And then we're going to do something a little different and directly answer some of the questions viewers have been posting in the video comment sections about their tax issues. Now, if you have an issue not directly answered in today's episode, make sure to leave your question in the comments section below. Quickly recapping the tax backlog situation, as the IRS has once again not released an update on the current status of the unprocessed backlog, which remains at 842,000 returns remaining, with 800,000 being e-file returns and 42,000 being paper returns. Amended returns are also down to 869,000, which will clearly carry over into 2024 and next tax season. Employer returns that are unprocessed increased to 43,000, and a huge jump of unprocessed amended employer returns now to 779,000. The IRS is also processing ITIN applications received in the month of August. Now moving on to those viewer questions about their specific tax issues, starting off with question number 1. If I see a 570 code on my tax transcript, does that mean my refund will be delayed? The answer is yes. There's a hold on your account that's preventing the IRS from finalizing your refund. The IRS will attempt to correct the issue themselves, so the hold can be lifted. If not, they may request additional documentation from you to resolve any outstanding issues. Now, if the IRS does send a request for documentation, that will be in the form of a 971 code on your tax transcripts like seen here. Now, there's no way to know specifically what that notice would entail. It could be a 60-day notice, or it could be a specific documentation request in regards to a claim being credit being claimed, such as EITC or CTC, and you will need to send that back to the IRS so that they can continue processing your tax return and ultimately clear your refund for release. The second question is, the IRS issued my direct deposit refund, but my bank or tax processor TPG returned it back to the IRS. What happens next? How will I know if it was sent to Revo? Now, if there are no problems, the IRS will issue a paper check to your address on file within 4 weeks of receiving it back. And what we mean by no problems is that either the bank or TPG did not return the refund as flagged. Now, if they did return it as flagged, it could take the IRS more than 4 months to resolve, and that's a comment they stated themselves on their website. Now, to find out if your refund was sent back to the IRS as flagged, there's a couple ways you want to do it. TPG has been confirming whether or not it was sent to Revo, or you can contact the IRS or taxpayer advocate for further information on it. But again, if it's being returned back to the IRS, there is a likely chance it is going to be a long time, especially for larger refunds, especially refunds that are more than your taxable income last year. That usually causes a red flag. Another commonly asked question is, how long will it take the IRS to process my amended return? Now, the IRS is currently averaging 6 to 7 months to process amended returns and issue refunds. However, that could take longer, especially if the IRS needs further documentation from you to complete processing. Now, it should be noted, some taxpayers who filed amended returns in 2021 and 2022 waited up to 14 months for processing to be completed. So again, this potentially can carry on for quite a while, in some cases well over 1 year. Make sure to check your tax transcripts for the most up-to-date information on your tax status. The question is, if you received a 60-day notice from the IRS, is there anything you can do? Generally, no, and the letter will state there's nothing more the IRS needs from you. Oftentimes, this has to do with the IRS still needing to process your employer's wage information to match versus what you entered for wages on your tax return. Now, a tip is to log into your irs.gov account and check your wages and income transcript to ensure all income you earned is actually shown there. If there's a discrepancy, then go to your Social Security account at ssa.gov and access your earnings record. If there's an issue, you may want to reach out to the IRS and Social Security, and you may need to submit proof of additional earnings to the IRS so that processing can continue. Now, we've seen from other viewers in the past, this is exactly what they needed to do. Otherwise, this delays would have carried on for months and months. Now, there's different reasons on why the IRS has not processed the employer's wage information. It could be as a result of a simple backlog. It could also be the employer has your wrong Social Security number on file. And in some cases, actually, the employer, especially smaller businesses, may have never filed their taxes to begin with. Another question being asked is, what is the 291 code on their tax transcript? If you're due a refund or prior tax adjustment after the IRS reviews your tax return, you'll see a code 291, reduced or removed prior tax assessed message, with the amount of the reduced tax, the refund, shown as a negative number. you may then see the code 846, which indicates the refund has been released. Now, if you owe back taxes, code 291 can help reduce your IRS balance. Again, if you see a 291 code with a negative number, that means money that is applied to your tax account that you're entitled to, again, whether in the form of a refund or repayment of back taxes. Now, if you still have an ongoing tax issue and you've not been able to get a resolution from the IRS, or you simply can't reach them by phone, which viewers are still reporting, even though their call response times are actually up significantly compared to the last 2 years, what are your other options? Now, there's 3 or 4 other options that you may want to consider. The first one we recommend is opening a case with the taxpayer advocate, and their website is listed here as well as their phone number, 1-877-777-4778. A number of our viewers over the last several years have had good success getting their resolution and ultimately their refund. They will assign you a case manager that will coordinate between you and the IRS in terms of getting a resolution. The second one option is visiting a local IRS TAS office in person. Their website is listed here. They're in all 50 states. You can go there, you can find the nearest one near you, schedule an appointment to speak to somebody. And again, that is another option you may want to consider. Also, local IRS offices can handle ID verification in person. If you're having any sort of ID verification issue with ID.me, several of our viewers have indicated they have. So again, this is another option. You go in person, they can do it within a matter of minutes, and ultimately you can get your refund because that's holding ID verification is holding up a lot of refunds just for that specific reason. Now, another option is to visit a local taxpayer clinic. This is not the same as a local IRS office. However, this is the web link here to access locations near you and a little more information about them. There's certain income limits you need to qualify for to be eligible for free assistance from an LITC office. But again, it's worth taking a look at, another option for people still needing assistance at this time. And finally, another option is to reach out to your local congressional representative's office. You can find your local congressman's information at house.gov, and then there's a place on the website that has Find My Representative. Usually you'll type in your address or zip code, you'll find your local representative, reach out to their district office, and they have helped a number of our viewers as well getting a resolution. Again, it all depends on how quick the office is able to assist with the request, how much staff they have dedicated towards it. As we've stated before, a number of our viewers have had success by going that route to ultimately getting their tax refund. Another question being asked by taxpayers and some of our viewers is they never received their direct deposit refund, even though the IRS said they sent it. What is next? If it was sent to a closed bank account, the bank will reject it and send it back to the IRS. Once the IRS receives it back, you'll see an 841 tax transcript code appear. Usually 4 to 6 weeks later after that 841 code date, the IRS will issue out a paper check to your address on file. Now, if TPG or your bank would not accept that refund and returned it back to the IRS, how long will it take for them to receive it back and how will you know? Usually locate a 720 code on your tax transcript that will indicate that the refund was rejected by the tax processor or bank and that the IRS now has it back. Let us know in the comments section below about your ongoing tax issue. In the meantime, we'll keep monitoring the situation for further developments, so make sure to click on the thumbs up and subscribe button below for future updates on this channel, and thanks for watching.